Hello everybody, this is Abhinav from Phone Munch, and today we are reviewing the Canvas 2.2 A114. The phone features a 1.3 GHz quad-core processor, that's MT6582M. In the front you have a 5-inch QHD IPS display. There are 3 capacitive buttons at the bottom which do light up. At the top you have the primary earpiece as well as the 2 megapixel front-facing camera. You also have a 8 megapixel primary camera which is capable of 1080p video recording. The display looks really bright. You also have a notification LED up top. I'll just show that to you. Let me get into settings to start that. Alright, so you can see the notification LED. It glows either red or green. Well, that's about it. Let me just switch the notification LED off. Alright, now that's done. Now if you move over to the left of the device, you can see the volume rocker. It's quite sturdy. It doesn't make any clicking sounds. And it's sort of a matte finish. The phone has a triple tone finish. At the top you have a metallic tone, in the middle a matte tone, and the back is super glossy. If you move to the right, you have the power lock and unlock button at the top. It's quite sturdy, doesn't make any clicking sounds. And again you can see the triple tone finish right there. But if we look closer, you can see that there is a little bit more gap at the top than at the bottom. But it's not loose at all. Moving to the back of the device, you can see the 8 megapixel camera with LED flash. Then you have the Micromax logo and the Micromax branding again. And at the bottom, you have the speakerphone right there. It's a bit on the curve. However, when laid flat on a surface, it does muffle the sound a bit. At the top, you can see the micro USB data syncing and charging port, as well as a 3.5mm audio port. At the bottom, you just have the primary microphone and a space to get the back cover off. The back cover does warrant a special mention. It's really glossy and it tracks fingerprints. Now let's talk a bit about the display. So you have a 5-inch QHD IPS display. That's 960 by 540 pixels. We didn't find any issues with ghosting or freezing of any sort. Now I'll just show you that the brightness level is set just so low, but the display still looks really vibrant and bright. The colors are natural. I'll just change some wallpaper so that you can see the color reproduction yourself. The colors look natural as well as vibrant. However, we did notice an issue with the refresh rate, and the display does flicker a little bit sometimes. Well, after that, we are going to move to network and call quality. So this is the default dialer. It has been customized quite a bit. In the center, you have the call button. On the right, you have the video call option as well. You can make 3G video calls from the phone. Call quality is definitely not up to par. We had issues with both the speakerphone as well as the main earpiece. The sound is a bit muffled and there is some disturbance in the line. However, the other person could hear us clearly. Now let's talk about the software of the phone. We'll quickly jump into settings. About. So you can see from here, it's a model number A114 running Android 4.2.2 Jelly Bean. It's quite customized. You can see the wide settings menu as well. You have Wi-Fi, Bluetooth as well as USB tethering that's available on the phone. Moving on. Let's get into display settings. Here you can see that you have lock screen notifications and you have the daydream feature available as well. Let me just start that. So you can see it's white in color. It will definitely use more battery. Well, that's pretty much it. You can change the font size as well. Getting into storage, you can see that you have 1.42 GB that's available as phone storage. And you have 1 GB that's available as your internal SD card or mass storage. Apps are movable to the SD card and USB OTG is also supported. The Canvas 2.2 supports smart gestures as well. You can use proximity sensor to unlock the device. Turn it upside to make it silent or use the speakerphone when you are on a call. You can also proximity answer the phone, dial a phone contact. I'll just show you proximity unlock, how that works. You can see that the phone is locked. I'll just wave my hand over and it's unlocked. These gestures work great and are sometimes really useful. Well, that's about it. I'll just get into security. So you have face unlock and voice unlock available as well. And the default options like pattern, PIN and password are always useful. So this is the default launcher. You have 5 home screens by default. You can add more home screens as well. I'll just show you how to do that. Going into Launcher Manager, you can just add more home screens by tapping on the plus button. At max, you can add 9 home screens in total. There are some other features in the launcher as well, like Add to Desktop, using which you can directly add apps by tapping on them. On the selected screen, they will be shown just like that. Let's get into the Add to Desktop option again. You can also add widgets directly by tapping on them. And it's a really easy to use interface. We have found that quite useful. Flow Monitor is a useful widget. It shows you the network speed at any given time. So this is the default app drawer. Several apps are already pre-installed. You get most of the Google apps installed as well. You get different tabs for downloaded apps, which is quite useful, especially when you are trying to find apps. You can also change the default sorting order by clicking here and choose whether to use alphabetical or latest installed apps as the sorting parameter. Now you have some effect settings available for the launcher as well as the app drawer. Up-down gestures work on your home screen. I'll show that to you after we go through the rest of the settings. So you can change the home screen as well as menu transitions. So if I flick from the top, you can see that the notification drawer comes down, and if I flick from the bottom, the menu appears. These are the default up and down gestures that's available. So we have started loading up phonebunch.com. Our mobile website has loaded up. So you can see that the scrolling is really smooth. There are no issues there. Now we'll quickly jump into our desktop website. Alright, our website is loaded up. So you can see that pinch to zoom is really smooth. And the touch response is quite good as well. And you can see the text clearly too. You can see here too, there is no issue with scrolling at all. Text readability is also quite high. We've added a new email support widget at the bottom. You can see right there. You can contact us directly by leaving your message as well as email address. Now let's have a look at the camera interface. We have several options including best shot, panorama mode, as well as a scene mode and multi-angle mode available as well. The scene mode automatically decides based upon light what should be the optimal settings for the camera. At the top, you can see that there is an option to change the flash and the main camera that you will use to snap photographs. There are some settings available as well. You can change the exposure level as well as scene modes directly from here. In camera settings specifically, you have zero shutter delay as well as picture size and the capture number to use to capture in burst mode. In video settings, you have electronic image stabilization as well as video quality, which you can set to fine for 1080p video recording. The camera has a slight bump at the back and the flash is actually quite bright, as you can see from right there. Now let's have a look at some of the images taken with the camera. On the left you have the auto mode, on the right an image captured with HDR mode. Similarly, you can see an image with no light and flash on the left, low light at the top and low light with flash at the bottom. The images are really crisp and you can see that low light performance is also good. Here's an image taken in broad daylight. Here too the sharpness is quite there. Now here's a day shot. You can see the vibrance of the colors and it's quite accurate in color reproduction as well. We had an issue with the video camera. There was a continuous hum sound in the background. We'll upload that sample really soon. Now let's talk about multimedia playback. Here are the default headphones that come with the device. They have single button interface to end and receive calls and have a silver pin. These are actually not that great and are the same ones that came with the Canvas 2 Plus. That time too, we didn't find them good to listen to music. And if you want to listen to music, I would recommend getting your own pair of headset. Now let's get into the music app. Music app has a new interface, which you can see from right here. The sound quality is okay, not that great. It could have been louder and a bit better. And the sound does get muffled when you place the phone on its back. You can see that it got significantly louder when I put the phone in my hand. Have a listen. Well, that's enough of music playback. I'll show you the FM radio interface. I've just plugged in the headset, which you can see from right there. Now let's get into the FM radio app. You can see that the interface has been changed. It looks quite nice. At the bottom, you have the buttons to start as well as change the channels. At the top, to switch to speakerphone as well as record FM. The Canvas 2.2 is capable of playing 1080p videos. Here's the default video player. Have a look at the video. Video playback is extremely smooth. There are no hiccups anywhere. At present, we are playing an MKV video format. AVI files, MP4 files as well as 3GP is also supported. We also have a lock feature which disables the touch screen as well as the capacitive buttons. There's also a pop-out feature which creates a video pop-up over all the applications. You can increase it in size. As you can see, it doesn't interfere with any of the other apps. You can move into the home screen. You can move it along as well, increase its size. There's no issue with performance. And it's really one of the coolest features that's available on this phone. Now we are going to play a video on YouTube to see how streaming video works on the device. So here's our review of the Sony Xperia M. Here too we find that there are no sync issues and no frame rate issues as well. We are playing in high quality mode currently. Have a look at the video.
The multitasking menu. At the bottom you have several apps, and on the right you can open.
Although the speakerphone is not that loud, but it's quite clear. Now let's have a comparison between the Canvas 2 Plus and the Canvas 2.2 A114. You can see that the Canvas 2 Plus is a bit wider. It's actually about 4 mm wider than the Canvas 2.2. You can see that from right here. It certainly makes a difference, especially since this is a very large device. The less wider Canvas 2.2 is easier to hold in the hand and also to reach the extremities of the display. Although both are almost same in thickness. Now for some of the gripes that we had with the device. The notification bar at the top is not continuous. There's a small gap in between and it's noticeable. Now you can see that if you want to add icons to the home screen, you should be able to add to the lowest row possible as well. But you can see that it jumps right back up and the lower portion of the home screen is actually unusable. Now the main gripe that we had with the device is actually the back cover. It's really glossy and it attracts fingerprints. It doesn't make the phone feel premium and it's not easy to hold as well. It's actually quite slimy. And you can see at the bottom that the build quality is actually not that great. You can see that the borders of the back cover are not finished grade, which leave a sort of a gap between the middle panel and the back cover. Now for some of the good things. So you get M Security app which scans your SD card as well as apps as soon as you install them. It's really a neat feature and can be really useful. Then you have the clock. It's really designed very well. We like the interface on the phone. Then you have M Live, and most of the apps come pre-installed and there are very few, if any, bloatware that's installed on the phone. But that was the full review of the Micromax Canvas 2.2. It has a good bright display and it performs really well. You can see that in our benchmark videos as well. And the phone lasts more than a single day on a charge, which is truly great, especially for a quad-core device. Then apps are also movable. The phone performs great at gaming and you have USB OTG support as well. So at this price point, this seems to be the best phone that you can get today. You can watch the gaming unboxing as well as benchmarks of the Canvas 2.2 from right here. And don't forget to subscribe for more such videos and in-depth reviews. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, as well as Google+. We are phonebunch.com. This was Abhinav Parak from PhoneBunch signing off. Thank you and have a great day.